By the way, do you see my new lighting? That's inspired by you. You front lighted yourself, didn't you?
I don't know. I got a big light up here.
Yeah, yeah. You know, I mean, the last episode, your lighting was beautiful. It was soft. It was like,
Really?
You know, first of all, you started the sunglass thing, and in the last episode, you lighted yourself. I was like, fuck,
I
I
can't
gotta light
see.
myself.
I can't see. I can't see myself right now.
I can see.
You
So
just
what did you rant? What did you last rant about?
all I see is a fucking computer. Hold on. God damn it. Oh man, I rant so much now.
We have a good, but we have a really good. I should have brought this up while Patrick was here, but he goes to sleep like a 90-year-old man.
Yeah.
Mungia Demetrius is this weekend. Ballard Mungia is coming up this weekend. That's going to be a fucking fun fight to watch.
That is. I don't.
It's on DAZN.
Those are my kind of
Eastern.
guys, you know.
Yeah, two tough sons of bitches, really good records. Neither of them, both of them kind of have a semi-protected record, but neither of them that well protected.
They're not world beaters, but they're gonna bring the fireworks.
They're gonna bring the fucking heat, and this is a big fight for both of them on a national stage. It's Oscar De La Hoya Golden Boy Promotions event. 12 rounder. So that's something to really look for. We have a free UFC card. So the free UFC cards all day. And then we have Golden Boy Promotions at night. And Oscar, man, that guy's a tough Mexican motherfucker. He can't let it go. He wants to fight more. And that, God bless him. You know what I mean? Tyson couldn't let it go. I think Tyson couldn't let, you know, John Gary, you and I had a big thing on the thing where the debate was whether or not Tyson really wanted to crush Roy Jones Jr. And my point was throughout Tyson's entire life, he knew nothing different. And during that fight, doesn't matter what he said, I was not trying to. Tyson doesn't know how to. He was known for knocking out sparring partners.
I know.
100%.
I think he's matured a lot. I think
not even a little bit, and especially coming back from not even a little bit, and especially coming back from a long layoff, he wanted to show people that he is that savage, that he's that fucking savage. He's now docile because he realized that he didn't knock out Roy Jones Jr. And that to me, it was so hard for him to admit that he really wanted to knock him out and couldn't. In the meantime, Roy Jones Jr. is a fucking Hall of Famer, right? But for Tyson to not be able to knock him out, now it took all the heart out of him. It took all the heart out of him. He thought Roy Jones was a shell of himself, had been beaten by lesser people, and he's right. If he can't knock out Roy, then he must have not have wanted to knock out Roy. You could see, and now if you watch him in interviews, people are like, hey, would you fight for $100 million? He's like, he doesn't want to fight anymore. And the reason he doesn't want to fight, he's like, I don't want to fight anymore. And the reason he doesn't want to fight anymore is because he couldn't knock out Roy Jones Jr. when he really wanted to. And you know, he's working through these emotions. You know what I mean? But you watch that fight, bullshit, he wasn't trying to knock out Roy Jones Jr. And bullshit, he treated it like it was a fucking exhibition. Bullshit. And another thing I'm calling bullshit on. Go ahead.
But why are we talking about this again?
I don't know. Why not?
It's just, I get, we just didn't close it before, I guess. Like,
no, we're talking about ranting, right? I'm trying to get you in a rant mood.
I'm
trying to show you how to fucking rant. Right?
Okay,
right?
Well then you're not going to get me in a rant like that. You know who you give me a rant in? Okay.
Go ahead.
Recently, this almost sounds as recent as like a week.
I have Metallica going on. I'm trying to fucking rant, baby.
All right,
rant.
fuck it.
Go
All
ahead.
right, here we go.
Yeah. Okay.
So Teddy Atlas, who a lot of people think a lot of people don't. is still on releasing videos bashing Mike Tyson. Okay.
Okay.
The whole reason for Teddy Atlas's relevance is his association with Mike Tyson. He will not let something go that happened when Mike Tyson was a child.
What happened? Like, give a background for those that are. You can't just jump in. You got to set your rant up properly.
He
What
said
the fuck
that,
happened? Say it from your chest. Fire
okay.
away.
All right. So apparently Mike Tyson groped or did something to Teddy Atlas's niece, I believe. And he's never let it go. All right. He, you know, he's such, I don't know. It's like he's got this fucking chip on his shoulder. All right.
Okay. All right. So if he believes it though, that's kind of a good reason to have a chip on your shoulder. Like, you know what I'm saying? If so Mike was pretty fucking arrogant, pretty out of control.
This is 40. No, this is fucking 40 years ago.
If somebody touches your fucking niece,
Mike
70
apologized.
Years ago,
Mike Tyson apologized. They squashed it. It didn't get squashed. It's just bullshit. And now he's making ridiculous statements like Mike Tyson really he should be 0-5. He never actually won a fight because of himself. It was because of somebody else. The fuck out of here. You make a fool of yourself, Teddy.
Yeah, I mean, this is too complicated of a rant for me because I understand if Teddy believes that something bad happened, you know what I'm saying? And Mike did go to jail for some things, and I don't believe those necessary. Every time you know what I'm saying? This is a very complicated thing. But
then he should keep if that's how he feels still, that's a good point. I can live with that. I may feel that way
I was going to say, let's say somebody tries to touch your daughter.
Okay.
Let's say it's 40 years from now and they're the heavyweight champ. Are you going to be like, oh, you're my best friend. You're awesome. I love you. If you believe that he was trying to diddle your daughter. No, you're not going to be cool with that.
So what he should do,
rant over your rant about Teddy Atlas.
No, if he's just listen to what I say then. Then let me finish.
Let's double rant. Go ahead.
If that's how he feels, if he feels that way 40 years later, after everything that's happened back and forth, then he should keep Mike Tyson's name out of his mouth and not use him. What?
Listen, again, if he believes this is his anger, this is his fucking like.
He's a professional boxing analyzer, whatever the fuck that's called.
Analyst. An analyst is the way I like to word.
He's a professional boxing analyst. You can't let your personal feelings get into analyzing a particular all-time great, which I'm not sure he was, but you know what I'm talking about.
I mean, you got to put Tyson up there with the all-time greats. It doesn't mean you put him in your top 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but I mean, when you watch his greatest moments, his greatest knockouts, and you put his highlight reel together, amateur and professional, when he was actually training, man, it was a beautiful thing, beautiful. Especially as
training's not fighting. Training is not fighting.
Well, I'm not talking about training. I'm talking about fights in the amateurs, and you could also, I'm talking about all of his highlight reels, from everything from sparring partners to amateurs, straight up to his knockouts as up and coming pro and as the heavyweight champion. And the fact he did it as a guy that had no reach and used his 5'10" against people that were 6'5", and he used it as an advantage. I mean, nobody had ever seen any shit like that before. You got to give him his props as an all-time great. And now as an older man, his philosophy and his theology and the way he's able to piece together his emotions, the way he's able to get in touch with his emotions is remarkable. Like we'll look back after he's gone and look back at each and every sentence and
Yeah.
Be like, wow, the guy's.
I'm more impressed. I'm more impressed with that part of his life. I think he's become just the success he's achieved after the downfalls he's had. That's more impressive to me than his boxing.
Amazing. He sat there while his wife, Robin Givens, literally ran him over on a national TV show.
Yeah.
And fucking ruined as the heavyweight, emasculated the beast of a heavyweight champion, just crushed it on national TV.
I don't think that he was an all-time great fighter. He's an all-time great personality. He's an all-time great personality. I don't think he was an all-time great.
When he was at his best as a fighter, when he was at his best with Customato, when he was slipping jabs, when he was slipping behind people and fighters are facing the other way.
I think it's a stretch to put him in the top 10.
I know that argument. I'm not trying to shit on the man. I understand where you're coming from. Because realistically, if you look at Tyson's career, the average round that he went through was round 4. And as he got past round 4, his win percentage, started to go awry. You and I both know that about him. But that's what made him so dynamite. His fights averaged 4 rounds, Jimmy. Like throughout a big career. It was
never
explosive.
He never avenged the loss.
Dynamite. It was just
he never came from behind.
I don't care if he came from. I know, but he made it to the finals a couple times. But I know what you're saying. You know what? When he was no longer the bully, and when he realized that he was now going to have to answer to somebody who was the bully, he would fade. His confidence would fade. His mental status would fade, and he would become truly that case of the bully getting popped in the nose. I'm 100% with you. But when he was the bully, holy shit, he was so good at it. You know what I mean? Like 4 rounds on average throughout, and that's with, I think 7 fights went over 10 rounds.
I mean, his big wins was a washed up Larry Holmes and a light heavyweight Michael Spinks.
I mean, listen, there are other wins in there that were nice. Listen, I'm not going to disparage the man. The man at this point, he's an icon of boxing, but I'm not
disparaging him at all. I love the guy.
Can
we fucking do something about this thing I'm seeing?
I can't help you with your technical issues, for Christ's sake.
It says, what if you could control the web? It's a picture of a computer screen.
I have no clue, dude.
I don't know. It started when you put that shit up. The YouTube.
I love that your Tony Atlas thing came into a double rant. You went ranting about Tony Atlas. I went ranting about Mike Tyson. And then it reversed where I went ranting. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I ranted for Tony Atlas. And then I reversed course and ranted for Mike Tyson at a later point. That's what I'm talking about with ranting.
Tony Atlas is a whole nother story. Okay. Because you're talking about Teddy Atlas. Tony Atlas was a guy. He was Hulk Hogan's enemy when Hulk Hogan was bad. Tony Atlas was good. WWF, little trivia name drop there.
Yeah, I mean, wrestling for me
is partners with Rocky
Johnson
Johnson at one point.
You know a lot about wrestling?
I know a decent amount. It's a great subject. It's so fun.
Jesus Christ. My wrestling knowledge stopped after Jimmy Superfly Snuka and Hulk. You know what I mean? Now I got these Rock, the Rock. You actually like the Rock? I might be the only person in America that likes the guy's movies a lot, but fucking finds him to be a despicable human being. I hate the Rock.
I don't look into his personal shit. I do like him.
I don't care about his personal shit. I'm going to go on another rant. I fucking despise the Rock as a human being. I find him to be fake, phony, steroid-filled, miserable pile of shit cocksucker. And I don't know, you watch him. Here's the thing with the Rogan situation, right? So Rogan originally got in some trouble. I think The Rock, when he did that Central Intelligence Agency movie with fucking the little midget comedian you were talking about, that you think's talented that I don't. Who's the guy you think is? I can't even remember his name. Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart.
Oh, Kevin Hart.
Rock and Kevin Hart did CIA. They've done a bunch of movies together because he's little and he's big and she's black and he's white and that's cute and charming, whatever. So when you do a CIA movie, it means that you are in with the CIA. The CIA doesn't let you do a movie in Hollywood unless they have their little CIA fingerprints all over it. The Rock is a plant. So Rogan gets in a little bit of trouble in the beginning. In the beginning, it was like, hey, Rogan's misinformation, disinformation. In the meantime, nobody ever talked or addressed what the misinformation was. So Rogan went on and addressed the thing. And then the N-word thing came out where they pieced together a whole bunch of clips of him talking about Richard Pryor clips and debating the N-word and blah, blah, blah. And they pieced it all together to make him look like he's a white supremacist, which he clearly is not in any way, shape, or form. And anybody who's listened to him knows this. So out of context nonsense from an actual place. So now you got The Rock. After the first controversy, he comes out and he goes, Joe, I understand with you. I like your apology. Let's go have some tequila together. Tequila. Okay. If you would ever listen to a Joe Rogan show, you know he's a bourbon drinker. He drinks bourbon. He doesn't drink fucking tequila. So The Rock's fake as fuck, throws out the word tequila. And I turn to my wife, I go, he's never listened to a show. Never listened to a single show. If you listened to 2 episodes, he's drinking bourbon or talking about bourbon. Tequila is not on the subject. So then the end thing comes out and immediately Rock flips. And I'm like, you know what? That was planned. That was meant to reverse. It was meant as reverse. Like he's part of that whole bullshit, plan. So The Rock can suck my dick. Everybody else can be like, oh, The Rock for president, dude. But I'm not fooled by you. I think Dwayne The Rock Johnson is a miserable sack of shit as a human being. And I'm probably the only person that thinks this way. But by the way, I love your movies. And by the way, that's what I'm talking about with ranting. I actually love his movies. I think they're great. So that's how you fucking rant. Let's bring that fire, man. Bring that fucking fire. What else you got? Let's bring some more fire. What else pisses you off? I got so much stuff I'm pissed off about.
I'm trying not to be pissed.
What sport pisses you off that should not be a sport? Let's get pissed off about that. What sport do people call a sport that isn't a fucking sport that pisses you off? Let's rant. Let's go wild.
This is a really...
Bring it, Jimmy. Come on, man. Bring that fire. Don't fucking think about it.
I'm not going to say that. I'm not saying
What's on your mind?
Discuss. All right. Discuss with me.
Don't sit
Please.
there and fucking think for like 10 hours. Say it. What's
Discuss with me cheerleading being a sport. This is a fucked up conversation.
I'm gonna defend cheerleading, but go ahead. I can't wait to hear you. Go ahead.
No. I'm coming empty-brained, empty-handed. I have nothing.
No. You gotta take a hard position. I'm gonna take the advert. We gotta fight about stupid shit we don't care about. Go ahead.
I don't have a strong case. Can you please talk to me as a pro, not a pro, but as a pro cheerleading is a sport. Opinion. Cheerleading is a sport.
I can. Okay, so I was dating a 4-time All-American cheerleader for a long time.
Of course you were.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, she was just for the record to set my stage on the higher echelon of being woke. She was American Indian and black. So we broke up because I I tried to scalp her, and she didn't like that.
We broke up because I'm a racist.
She broke up because I made a terrible racist joke about Indians and black people, and said these things are conjoined. Nah, I had an illegitimate child, but we can talk about that on another podcast. So she was a judge for these major competitions, and you know, and prior to this, at O'Connell, our O'Connell cheerleading team, they would go to nationals all the time. I'd watch these girls work. So
They were legit.
I went to all these competitions. It is physically unfucking real. You watch Top Gun. Do you know what there's a team called Top Gun out of Miami that's been like the top of the food chain for a long, long time. I know more about cheerleading than I really should. But you watch these fuckers and do their thing, and it's like America's Got Talent. It's beautiful. It's synchronized. It's so physical. It's so amazing. Is it a sport? Well, when you're competing against other people and it's subjective, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's not object. So there's an element there where it feels like it's called a cheerleading competition, right?
Right.
And it really is.
It is.
It is. As a sport, they haven't quite brought it together to the point where it can be mano-y-mano. You know what I'm saying? It should. They leave it as a competition to subjective judges. You know, so I'm with you on that part. But it's so physical that I'm not pissed off. I'd be more pissed off about. I'm more pissed off about auto racing or skiing. In the meantime, those are two of the most. These are three of the most dangerous things you can do. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They call it a competition, but ping pong's a competition. You can't kill yourself playing ping pong unless you dive into a fucking wall. Or,
My issue is exactly what you said, is that it's objective. Okay, it's left up to an objective party for the winner.
How is that different from boxing?
Thank you. Okay, I was gonna say that and then say boxing's the same. I don't know how to get around that. There's no knockouts in cheerleading. I don't know, but
that's where I said that next gen sports stuff where you count the punches and you count the pressure of the punches could really just take all the judge shit out. You were upset by that, and I understand it. It's a very big step. It basically removes judges. Yeah. But at that point, it becomes who's inflicted the most physical damage on the other person. You could do it per round or for the whole fight. That could be a whole different.
Then you get into the things, these refined athletes and what they go through. Then you get into entertainment, because it's very similar to the dance groups and the things and the concerts and things like that. The work that goes into this shit.
I'm with you.
Bleeds in together, really.
Who has the best music video? I'm with you. I could argue both. Like, is a cheerleading competition any different than putting together the best music video and having somebody judge it at that point? The real thing is the work that these people go through for a specific day, for a set amount of judges. Very similar to a boxing match.
Very similar.
They work their asses off, and then it's subjective. And there's something sad about that almost takes away the fact that it's a sport. I think where boxing becomes a sport is that somebody really can knock that other motherfucker out and win. If it were always left to the judges, right? If every single match were left to the judges and nobody could be knocked out, it would get a little awkward during this fight that we're having, this debate. But the fact that somebody can win definitively makes it a sport. For me, I despise skiing. I despise it. And snowboarding, and have you ever been?
Snowboarding, I've never done either, but how, I mean, at one point, do they stop making up sports? That's new, you know?
So I'm going to go on a bit of a tear against white people, which you're allowed to do these days with Infinity. But have you ever been to a mountain,
A mountain?
like a
No.
mountain for snowboarding? A mountain
No,
for
no,
snowboarding or
no, no,
skiing?
no, 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 no.
It's a bunch of fucking people wearing fluffy neon shit, right? Okay, so I understand golf a little bit more than I do skiing and snowboarding. Both of them cost a tremendous amount of money, but in one case you're going to freeze your ass off and wear a bunch of fluffy. It becomes like a fucked up let's call it a fashion show where you're wearing like fluffy fashion with like neon shit. You know, your skis have neon on it. Your jacket has the right neon. You got your right neon hat, so it all matches, but nobody can see what you look like. You know what I mean? And then you're going, and in golf, you're escaping your wife and your children. So it makes complete sense. If you hate your family, you know, and I'm not a golfer, but I love my wife and family. But if you hate your wife and family, you want to escape for 8 hours. There's
Right.
nothing better than going out. But you're not going out in shitty weather. You're going out into the beautiful nature. I
And
mean,
you're also not going to get a compound fracture.
you're not going to get hurt. I mean, you might. I I torsioned up my lower back. You know what I mean? But you go down. I mean, you go down the fucking hill. It's one of the most dangerous things. So in one case, you don't have to have a babysitter. Like you're alone on. You're with your friends. You're having drinks. You got girls coming up on the golf course going, you want beers, and you're out in nature, right? And the other, you're out in nature, but you're freezing your ass off, covered in like some fake neon shit, and you're risking your life for nothing to go down there. And by the way, everybody out there has kids, so you are a de facto babysitter. You have to watch out for other people's kids. You got to make sure that their kids don't kill themselves. You got to literally be like, oh, I got to watch it. Oh, this kid's coming. Oh, let me help you. You got to literally have your head on a swivel for yourself and others. And mind you, you could be Sonny or the Kennedys and just run right into a fucking tree, or split your knee in any million different ways, all for absolutely hanging out in the middle of the freezing frozen tundra. Also, that at the bottom of this, your reward is, oh, I got down the mountain. Let me go have a hot cocoa or sit in a bar with a bunch of smelly, nasty white people. You know, a bunch of fucking, if you see a hot chick, you don't know. She's covered in a fucking neon tundra, massive goose down jacket. Can't see her ass. You can't see her titties. She smells like a fucking shoe. You know, you're sitting there like, oh, I made it down. I'm drinking a fucking cocoa. You know, that's my reward. I got a cocoa. I got a bourbon. You know, you could do that anywhere. You don't need to go to a fucking spend $50,000 to go to Vail in order to have that experience. Just go to a bar and you
All right, can I rebut?
Yeah, go ahead.
You're talking about two different things, Beans. You're talking about white people doing some stupid shit. You're not
You
talking
don't
about
see
the
black
sport.
people doing this dumb
You're not
shit.
talking.
Now.
No, you don't.
Black people are smart, dude. People
You
are like,
do
oh,
not
black
see
people are
black-
like, black people do not do dumb shit like either like this. They're
You're not talking about the sport. You're talking about the leisure end of it, that they use it for leisure. The sport is that there are no trees on a fucking ski whatever when you're
well,
training
you
for the
gotta
Olympics.
do the dumb white shit first and hang out with
No,
all
you
these
don't.
smelly,
No, those
nasty,
guys don't do
sock-filled
that.
bitches. You don't just go straight down to the fucking pro level. You gotta
Yes, you do.
You gotta babysit first.
No,
You gotta go on the
no.
duck trails, on the black
You don't
diamonds.
start there.
You
You
gotta
don't
fucking-
start. You don't start with the redneck white people. You start like in lessons and shit when you're like 2 years old. By the time you're 5, you're all over the place. And
Yeah, by
most
the
of the
time you're 5, you're stuck in a frozen tundra and your life sucks. So your parents have done you a great disservice. Any parent that gets their kid involved in this should be reported to CPS, because you literally made their entire, instead of doing dodgeball, your kid's now playing dodge tree. You know, you're Dodge tree. Your kid's doomed to a life of fucking bad ACLs and bad fucking back. And you know, here's the thing. Here's how you can tell how horrible skiing is. Have you ever been? The first time you go, the first time you go and you get on the skis, you go on the bunny trails and shit, you can do it for like 10 minutes. The next day, even if you don't fall, it doesn't matter. You will find all these muscles that don't matter one bit are sore. Things that you will never use again in your life. That's how fucking useless this sport is as a sport. These are muscles that you have never used before and that you will never use again. And they're fucking sore as shit.
I'm gonna give you what you want. I'm gonna give you what you want.
That's how you ran.
I'm gonna give you what you want. I'm gonna let you even continue this rant. Tell us where the skiing trip hurt you, please. Tell us your experience that brought you to this feeling.
So I went skiing and I went down a black diamond thing and
it's right on deck. It's right on deck, man. Dude.
I had a rough day. I got hurt that day. I'm athletically arrogant at that time. I was a decent athlete, and all my friends are like, "I'm going up a black diamond trail," and I was like, "You guys have fun. I'm not there yet. I'm bunny trail level." And then I was like, "Fuck that! I can do it." I'm all not like, you know what? I should follow my friends. I have to get angry about. Fuck that! I'm gonna fucking follow my friends. So I get on the fucking ski lift up. And I see Sean Brophy, Keith, all these guys, they're slowly going down this trail. They're doing little things. And I'm like, hey, from the thing. I'm like, hey, they can't hear me. They're all like slow, but they're going so slow that I'm like, you know what? I can catch them. Yeah, I can catch them. And so I immediately, I'm like, I'm going to catch him. So I go into the tuck position immediately, like I'm going to catch him. And, first part, second part, I'm like, man, I'm actually, look at how smooth I am. I'm smooth. I'm getting the hang of this. Tuck. It's snowing. It's getting a little icy. Finally, that trail had different ideas, had a sharp turn. So I went deep to do sharp again.
Oh, look like we got one of them sharp turns.
I did it with real confidence, like I can do it. And I went flying off the edge of it, and I just heard the snap. And I thought the snap was my back, and it was actually a tree that was it wasn't a huge tree. It was about the size of the microphone, the top of it, maybe a little bigger. But I was going so fast. I was probably going 30, 35 miles an hour, 225 pounds. Snapped the shit out of it. I thought that was my back, and I fell off, a ledge that was probably 12 feet into the snow. That part didn't hurt. And I just remember sitting down there going, shit, am I paralyzed? And this guy comes over and goes, you okay? And I was like, I don't know. And so I said, shit, I can move. And it was the tree that was snapped in half. So I got up, I walked down the entire fucking mountain. And I didn't get back on the skis. I had a welt, have you ever seen Tommy Boy, where Tommy Boy, remember when David Spade waxed Tommy Boy in the face with that 2x4?
Here or here. It's here.
But that's what my back looked like.
Right
it was like right across the back was like a whole welt. And so I walked down. I looked for my friends, and they weren't down there. Of course, they didn't even know I'd gone up there. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna wait where I know they'll go. I'm gonna go to the bar. So I sit in this fucking bar, and I'm like, they'll show up there. They're alcoholic degenerates. They never came. So I'm like, I wonder if they left. I went out to the car. Car's there. Come back to the bar. Bar's there. Walk back to the car. Car's there. Walk back to the bar. They aren't there. Walk back to the car. Car's gone. And I'm like, oh shit. This is before cell phones or any of that stuff, So now I'm like, oh shit. And it's now blizzard, like fucking pouring snow down. And so I'm sitting there in this 70s ass ski outfit going, oh Christ, this is terrible. I had to wait like an hour because our hotel wasn't close. It was, 45 minutes away with no snow. And so finally I get them on a payphone and they're like, yeah, we just got back here. You know, we're going to get showered. We're going to get dressed. You know, we'll bring you your clothes. We'll come get you. And I'm like, oh, that sounds great. It's pouring snow. Like 3 hours go by. Now I'm sitting there like a fucking douchebag, like fucking smelling like shit. Like 3 hours go by. I'm like, where are you guys going? Where are you guys? Oh, we're still getting ready. You know, we'll be there. We'll leave soon. And it's still pouring snow. Like an hour and a half later, I'm like, where the fuck are you? They're like, man, the snow's really bad. We might just stay here. I'm like, if you don't get here, I'm going to fucking murder every single one of you and your fucking family. You get the fuck over here. You come get me. You know, like, I will destroy your life. I will kill you. I will literally come over there and I'll hunt you like it's never been. So they're like, fine, we'll come get you. So they bring me, I'm like, grab my fucking clothes, get your ass over here. So they bring me, I had a pair of jeans and a red sweatshirt, and I had a pair of green jeans and like a white sweater. They brought me the green jeans and the red sweater. So I look like fucking Santa Claus. Immediately come, I smell like shit. They show up. I'm so happy to see them, by the way. I'm like, literally like, it was better than seeing Santa. They show up, I put the shit on. The car immediately gets stuck in the ice and snow. It was really pretty bad. Like, it's a miracle they made it. So I'm like, you know what? I'm getting out. I'm so happy to see you guys. I'm getting out and I'm pushing. So I start pushing, rock, hit the fucking gas. And they had already put down that mud shit, that salt that you put down all the way up. So now I'm fucking not only unshowered and nasty and dressed like red and blue, green Santa, but now I'm covered in rock salt shit, nasty snow. And you know, the whole night. And then I think I told this on the podcast before, but I started a racial fight that night. Did I tell you this?
Oh, that's nice. No, maybe.
So I'd stolen a thing of bear spray probably 8 years earlier from a mail truck when I was going through that theft thing that I was talking about.
You told me, yeah.
And then the Asian bear spray. So that fight happened. That actually cheered me up. You know, when I, watched that and I caused it, that actually cheered me up, brought me joy. And then I went back to the hotel. And again, this is should I even piece that together to tell what a piece of shit I was? So now I'm pissed off, and I literally sprayed a random person in the face that I didn't like with bear spray, who then called another person a chink in the middle of the thing. The guy goes, what? He had no idea what was going on. What'd you do, you chink? And it was just me being an asshole because I was displacing my anger on society. And I just sat there going, this is fantastic. And then the chink beat the shit out of that guy outside. As I just sat and watched, going, all right, my day feels a little bit better. So then I go back.
Wait, you called him that. Why did you do the other guy?
I didn't call him anything. No.
I thought you said
I sprayed a guy who was being a bit of a dick in the face with the bear spray out of my pocket. So it was in my pocket. Again, I've had this shit for like 7 years.
So who called somebody a chink?
The guy I sprayed with the bear spray didn't know what it just. So you get bear spray. You don't know what's going to happen. You don't know. You don't spray yourself in the face and go, what's going to happen? I took this out of a mail truck when I was like 9 years old. Right. So I've been carrying this shit around forever as like bear spray. And now I've had a horrible day. I've had a really rough day, and I'm covered in shit. And this guy's fucking mouthing off, and I don't know what he said. I can't remember what pissed me off. It could have been anything at that point. Quite frankly, it was me. It wasn't him. It was me. He annoyed me just enough for me to be like, you know what? Let me just. And I remember putting my leg up at the right angle. It was still in my pocket. I didn't pull it out and be like, bam. It was in my pocket. Like, the fact that my angles was right, because, I was playing a lot of pool, the fact that I knew the angle. No, I'm dead serious. The fact that
all of a sudden you're like Tron. You're
Dude,
like Tron.
the fact that, but here's one of the craziest part. It's in my pocket. Like I never pulled it out and sprayed it. The fact that it was like the nipple of it was out of my pocket, and I lift up my leg, and he's probably 4, 5, 6 feet, probably 6 feet away, because 6 feet's not that far, and I just tap it, you know, and it was a perfect score.
Damn,
You
you're
know,
lucky you didn't spray yourself in the eye.
No, it was perfect. Like again, it's imperfect because this is a terrible douchebag story, but the fact that that hit properly is I mean, during all that, you know, all that shit, the fact that I could actually still pull that shot, that's a miracle shot. Out of all this racist story that goes on where people beat each other up because of the chink thing, I mean, I deserve some credit for that shot. I deserve some props. That was a beautiful shot. So anyway, this guy gets hit in the face with bear spray. And finally, I understand what it does to people. It doesn't do good things. He was very upset. And he didn't know where it came from. And the first thing he saw when he looked up was an Asian gentleman that I didn't know. And he threw out a disparaging word against him. And then the Asian gentleman got revenge over I will never forget that guy's face where he was so confused. And again, we're talking about what pieces of shit you can be as a human being. You know, I'm opening my soul here, you know, what a piece of shit that you can be, right? This is not who I am now, right? I'm not proud of this. But when I saw that guy's face and he, you know, heard chink and he was so confused, you know, he was like, huh? Like he had no idea why that venom had come his way, like none. And the guy's going, you fucking chink, and this guy's going, I'm just sitting here, like, huh? Like it was that confused. And then this guy kept going in, and the other guy's going, where did this come from? And then he kicked the shit out of him. And for me, that was my retribution for a terrible day on the ski slope. So you asked the question as to what happened to me. That's what happened to me.
That's it. I can see that.
And by the way, then I went back to the hotel. I was leaning back in a chair and the chair slipped and I fell through a window and I had to pay $350, which is like $50 million. We tried to shove a fucking curtain through the window because it's like 16 degrees outside. So we tried to continue to party, but you can't party at 16 degrees.
No,
it's just
that's
impossible. So we shoved the curtain through. We tried everything. We tried to kick the heat up. Didn't work. I ended up getting, after all that, I ended up getting charged $350, which is what you would call karma, you know, for all that stuff.
Yeah.
I said, you know what? The Lords have now told me never to hit the ski slopes again. And fuck that sport. It's for white people.
Couldn't have said it better myself. If that happened to me, that's a totally valid reason.
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, I have so many friends that love that sport, and I'm like, you know what? I wish I could do it, but I'm just not capable. It's really just jealousy. Let's be honest.
Fuck those guys.
Of people that can skate.
Yeah. Jack off.
I mean, we've covered. Did you know that? By the way, we talked about the Neil Young thing earlier. Do you know who he's married to?
No.
He's married to Daryl Hannah.
Really?
Yes. Yes, he's married to Daryl Hannah.
She was with Jackson Brown, I believe.
Yes, she was.
Yeah.
Who's one of my favorite artists of all time. But Daryl Hannah was
didn't he beat her ass or something?
Who, Jackson Brown?
Didn't he beat Daryl Hannah's ass?
I don't know that story, but I like all things that you say. I'm going to Google it, and I'm sure there will be some.
It may be James Taylor and Carly Simon that I'm thinking of, but I'm pretty sure it's both of those couples had that issue, or was rumored.
Who did you think was super hot back in the day? Like who was your? I mean, Daryl Hannah was a smoke show back in the day. Who was your? smoke show back in the day.
Hold on. The girl that sang, this is not one of her big songs, but she sang Strut. Fuck. Strut. Put in Strut. You'll like.
Put in the word strut.
Sheena Easton.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah, I was a big fan of hers. I never liked Madonna much. I mean, I liked her music, but I never looked at her as a sex symbol. I would like random. I would like random women that I saw in a movie or something, or I would have a dream about
I got a random woman in a movie that I thought was the hottest thing ever, and let me see if this marries up to you. Okay.
All right.
I guarantee that it won't, but there's a chance because you just mentioned it. And by the way, Madonna got her start during Vision Quest, which we talked.
Yeah, I want to fact check that. I'm not sure about that.
Well, you can just watch the movie too. But yeah, Crazy for You was like her first major, music.
I thought it was I want to dress you up in my love or something like that.
She might have had some love, but that was her first major, introduction. Yeah. Anything else that she was in was not like a major thing. It was sort of like.
Well, she wasn't a movie star. She was a singer.
She was a singer, but if you watch Vision Quest, they featured her in that movie. Like and
then she was in Desperately Seeking Susan.
She's probably got 2 to 3 minutes of actual airtime in Vision Quest, like for real. And they play a song for another minute in there. Somebody banged her that was putting that movie together, but they actually had.
It doesn't mean that but somebody wanted to let her eat. They wanted to feature her.
Let her eat. This is during pre-Harvey Weinstein. This is back before the world worked. You know that the world worked.
That happened. I mean, that happened. There was good people.
You think Madonna wouldn't play that game?
Probably would. Not that I know.
I mean, I'm just throwing it out there because if you listen
to
her vocals,
it was clearly someone was trying to help her get ahead. Whether it was because she did something for them.
A nice person, I'm sure. It was because she was sweet. If you listen to her vocals on Crazy for You, they aren't very good. I mean, they're okay. They're like 5, 6 out of 10, but
it wasn't until
Crazy for You. Listen, the melody is good. The song's great, but her vocals, they're not that good.
It wasn't until Like a Virgin, and that was controversial, that she really blew up, out of the stratosphere.
Yeah,
and she stayed there. She stayed relevant for a long time.
She did, but a lot of these women are sleeping their way to the top, right? Back in the day, we can not talk about it if you want, but there's men that have slept their way to their top too. We just don't know about it.
So what?
I know yeah, it's the right thing to do if you get to the top. But what if you sleep your way to the bottom?
Then you did it wrong.
Yeah, you didn't do a good job.
All right.
You consider yourself good in bed?
I don't know. I don't have any complaints, but who the fuck knows?
Yeah. I think I was better when I was younger. I think I was much better. Yeah.
I remember. I'm not one to talk about what goes on. I remember saying to somebody who was curious. I said, he said, was she good in bed? And I said, I'm not sure how good I was, really. So I mean, I'm not gonna trash somebody else. I just think that's shitty.
I've had a few like B plus performances where I can look back and be like, you know what, you did pretty good, right there. But I'm not going to go out there and be like, you know what, when I watched, this movie, I would have done this better. I would have nurtured this better,
Man, I've had shit.
Yeah.
I've had some long nights, man.
What's the fastest that you've come in history? Do you remember your fastest? Like the moment where you boom, and it was over. You're like,
There's
what the
quite a
fuck
few
did that
ties
happen?
for first on that. There's quite a few ties for first.
I've got two that just haunt me. That just haunt me. I'm like, how did that happen? How is it so fast? What the fuck? What? Like,
No,
I mean,
and
yeah.
I always try, like, there's always this one split second where I go into the area of blaming them. I'm like, what were what were you moaning like that for? You know what I mean? I don't, it's like,
Yeah. That's
stop,
that's a
do not
reaction.
move. I told you don't move. God damn it. Shit.
So it's funny you say that. So instead of me blaming them, in both cases live, okay? In one case, it
Oh,
was
yeah, yeah. Been
in
there
in
too.
in a it was in a public domain, and it was in a car, and I was like, I meant to do that. That was my angle for
Now just let me get warmed
so
up. We'll be at it all
in
night,
the
baby.
so in the other angle, I mean, both, again, this shows just how full of shit guys are. In the other angle, it was that didn't just happen. Let's
Give me 5 minutes, baby. I'll be right
just
back.
fake it, just pretending that it just never happened, and that we could, start over later, or
Give me 5 minutes. I'll be fine.
I don't want to address it. I don't want to talk about it. There's not. It's not your fault, actually. I should have said. What I should have said is that was amazing. What you have is something special. But instead, I was so ashamed. I was like, give me a few minutes.
Hey. And then there's also this. There's also this one. Fuck, hold
It
on.
shows how selfish guys are. We should have said, your V is great. Everything is fantastic.
There's
Good for
also
you,
this.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to play that. You got to be like, I don't know, that's the best I've ever had. You're that fucking
At least
good.
say
I had no
something
control.
kind, and
Yeah,
say,
yeah.
disparaging yourself with some weak shit,
But then there's the holy fuck. Wait, you didn't just come, did you? Oh Jesus, it's like fucking. How do you lie about that? But you do. No, I don't think so.
I mean, I've never heard those words in that way, but if I did, I don't know what I would say in that moment. But every guy who's listening to this now, that may be younger, because we're old, should have an answer. Now,
Yeah.
so now that we've kind of established that a girl can say, "You didn't just come, did you?" What would you say? Like, what would be like a great one-liner for that? Like, how would you handle it now as a mature adult? How would you handle, that onslaught of negativity and turn it into a positive?
If she went like that, I think I would say. I mean, maybe try to make her laugh and say, "I don't think so." I don't know, something stupid. I mean, there's no way out of it. You can't retract it.
I mean, you can't. I mean,
I told you I was. Didn't you hear me? I said it.
I mean, there's a number of ways to go, right? There's a
Get
comedic
aggressive
way.
about it. Make it her fault.
Everything your fault.
What is that? What is that thing they do? You gaslight them. Just gaslight them out.
Or you could say, I did, and thank you for that, and I owe you one. Would be a good one, right? Like, I owe you one.
Hey, what about this one?
Next one's on me. This drink was on you. Next one.
Guys,
Next one's
hey,
on me.
listen. For the millions watching, I'm disgusted with myself that I'm talking about this. So apologies. But
No, these are important things. You go ahead, fire away.
What about when you can't and you got to lie about that you already did? Because it ain't gonna happen.
So I've heard about this, and I've been through this. So if I get like really, like, if I drink a lot, which is where a lot of sex happens, I could be there for a long time, because alcohol is a pain, is a pain number, and sex is stimulated, it's pain. Pain is pleasure. Pain is all the endorphins, or all the neurons that go, all the shit that goes to your cock. Also, it will numb your pain. There's pain numbing. So when you drink a lot, you could actually lose sensitivity in your cock, and you could sit there for hours and just bang away, and sometimes it just doesn't work. I've never faked an orgasm, although a lot of times at that point, respectfully, people have tapped out. And, like a gentleman, I'll finish myself. Sometimes I'll try to finish myself and bang away like a monkey does. And then just sometimes it works. Sometimes I pass out with my cock in my hand. I mean, I'm not, I'm just saying things, things
this
happen.
conversation is so beneath me, but
it's such a horrible conversation.
Here's another nuance.
We're respectful. We're trying to be respectful, but here's the thing, though. Dead serious.
If I get in that shape,
but wait a second. You faked orgasm? You've actually faked an orgasm?
Yeah. I'll give up, but I will not.
I've passed out with no satisfaction, but
I'll give up. I won't give up with no satisfaction.
I just pass out with no. I've never faked. But do you actually go like, oh, like do you actually do the real fake thing? Do you actually like
fake an orgasm? I have. Does that make me a bad guy?
No. This is a whole new thing. I'm not judging you at all. But what do you do? Like, do you go Do you like a? Or do you do like a Johnny Cash thing and be like, like, do you have like a whole thing that you fake with, and then you just roll over and pass out?
Yeah, I got to shower her with false compliments, false for the time.
You did a great job,
Yeah,
good for you. Wow,
you're really coming along, type of thing. that was. Good night today. Good night. Let's build on that.
Let's go. Is this while drinking, or have you ever had this happen while you weren't drinking?
No, I don't know, man. I don't know.
I mean, I know some guys that can't come during sex and that have to jerk off, like that have to finish while jerking off.
See, that's the difference between me and you. I don't know any other guy's sexual habits.
Oh no, I ask all my friends these questions. We talk about, we get into it. Did you do this? Did you do that? Now, mind you, we're at this age now. I don't have those conversations ever anymore. The last times I was having these questions were probably between 18 and 26. I had a lot of these questions. Now I'm 48. Nobody talks about this anymore. But the reason that we're even talking about it now, there might be some like your step.
Nobody talks about it. Nobody talks about it, but it's no less on your mind. It's on your mind 24 hours a day.
Your stepbrother, step uncle, your brother-in-law. He needs this type of advice. I guarantee, he needs a little bit of, guidance in the right way, so that he knows how to handle a woman in the right way.
Well, he does. He's the funny guy. He's funny as he's one of the funniest people I've ever met.
Let's bring him on the show. I'm dead serious. He can roast the shit out of me. I don't give a fuck. Like we should start doing that. Let's start having our listeners. Like, who cares? Like, haters or not.
Haters. I want to bring my buddy. Listen, you were asking me about wrestling. I want to bring my buddy Christian on. Talk about wrestling. It's such a fucking great conversation,
dude. 100%. Like anybody that we know who's funny or who's interesting. If your brother-in-law hates me but is funny, I would love to have him on. I don't care if he literally spends his entire time telling me what a piece of shit I am. It's going to be great.
You know what? He's the nicest guy in the world, and I guarantee he won't confront you.
Well, I don't know. Either way, I mean, if you're friends with him, I'll be friends with him. I guarantee whatever he's annoyed by, I'm not angry about it. We should just start having our listeners on, like in general.
Yeah.
Hey, who wants to be on? Whoever the fuck wants to come on, let's book you. Let's find your story. Everybody has a story, right?
Everybody has
And maybe
a
they'll
story.
become a regular. Like maybe they become like every month we have them on. Why not?
Fucking whack pack.
I mean, right? Actually, that's
Right?
kind of a weird, yeah, it could very well happen that way.
Hey, but
One,
kidding
one
aside,
way.
the most interesting fucking stories are regular people.
Correct. Everybody's story is amazing, and
You
people have
get,
heard ours.
but you do get into some long-winded stories sometimes that really aren't that good. Those are tough to
Yeah,
get out of.
we'll have to navigate. I'm sorry for that earlier, with that whole skiing thing.
No, that was a great story.
So
That cleared a lot of things up. I could see the anger in you when we brought up skiing. Just seemed odd, but I get it now.
in general, though, that rant just came from the heart because skiing, I like to rant about shit. Like there's something therapeutic about just fucking going off on
Same
shit
thing
you
for
really don't
fucking
care about.
Philadelphia. Same thing for
Yeah,
Philadelphia.
just fucking
Philadelphia
Philadelphia.
pisses
Fuck
me off.
Philadelphia.
You know, it just pisses
You
me
want?
off.
Let's rant about Philadelphia together. You go first. I will rant second. I'll take second position, but I'll rant about Philly after you go first.
My first time in Philly was a Redskins Philadelphia game. My uncle took me. My uncle Joe and I used to always go to the Philadelphia Redskin games, whether they were in Washington or Philly. And so this was my first time going. I'm wearing I'm retarded. I guess I was wearing a Pittsburgh Steelers jacket. I wasn't even wearing a Redskins. So fucking the minute I get out of the car, people are like, hey, Pittsburgh sucks. Fuck you. And my dumbass, like, I grab my crotch. I'm like, fuck you. And they throw like a full can of beer right at me. It just goes all over me. They're driving. I'm walking. And it was just, what the fuck kind of people are these? It was ridiculous. Like, we were sitting next to somebody in the upper deck, okay? And this kid, and they were like 16-year-old kids. And there was some Redskins fans way over there. And they're like, let's go fuck them up. Let's go fuck them up. And they leave, and you just forgot about it. And like 20 minutes later, it's on the big screen. These fucking kids are over there beating up a Redskin fan. Just retarded, just idiots. It just, the whole city pisses me off.
So I agree. Philadelphia is, but I don't want them to carjack my shit because these people don't have any aspirations, but they will drive for violence. I mean, I went up there as a eighth grader full of hormones for a 7-day period for a big family event because my whole family's from Philly. They're all my grandfather went to University of Pennsylvania. My whole family was, but like my Kuntz side of the family was all from that area. We actually brought electricity to New Jersey in my old family history. And so there's a large history up there. Came over with the Quakers, in Pennsylvania. All of my Bean side got kicked out of the Quaker side for having fornication and having sex. And so there's a big family history up there. And so I went up to Pennsylvania, Philly, thinking, you know what, I'm going to go up there. I'm going to meet some girls. I was up there for fucking 10 days, and my standards were low. I was in the 8th grade. I didn't know what standards were. I still didn't find anything that I could have ever been attracted to. That city's the ugliest fucking city with the ugliest people, the ugliest shit ever. Have you? And I'm going to play this. And if you haven't heard it, Jimmy,
you don't stop talking, do you? Like, fuck
Oh, I love it.
I love it. For a while, just.
Do you know this?
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what's funny? I'm cooking my brain talking about nothing. I'm just walking around like, yeah.
I got to pee real quick. I figure I'll leave you with this Philly rant. I'll be right back in a second.
Let it play. I'll be right back, too.
I hope you all fucking die, and I hope the fucking Eagles never win the Super Bowl. Go fuck yourself. Fuck this. Fuck the Fridays. Fuck all of you. Fucking goddamn fucking losers. Who and Dom Herrera. Suck a dick. All of you. Suck a fucking dick. in your Harold Carmichael fucking jerseys, and one at a time, you can all suck my dick. City of brotherly love, you bunch of fucking cocks. Fucking goddamn losers. 52 fucking hours into a show. The fuck am I gonna do at this point? You people on a goddamn acid. Fucking be up here talking about Hitler. That ain't gonna work. What do you want me to talk about? Wait, throw out some topics. Let's talk about heart disease. Something you're all gonna fucking die of, and I'm gonna laugh at your fucking funerals. It's gonna be great. Gonna get fucking cancer, which is fantastic because all your fucking heads are shaved anyways. No one's even gonna notice. You're gonna get fired for coming to work too late because they're not gonna notice that you have fucking bone marrow cancer. The only thing's gonna give it away is me laughing at you in the fucking background. You fucking bunch of losers with your fucking cell phone pictures. Fucking suck a dick. Fucking asshole. 11 more minutes of this. I hope you all get in your Ford Focuses and fucking try off the side of that faggot-ass Ben Franklin bridge. You fucking one bridge having piece of shit city that no one gives a fuck about. The terrorists will never bomb you people because you're fucking worthless and no one cares about you. You are this high above New Orleans. No one gives a shit. FEMA would never show up for you fucking assholes. I hope your mother has herpes in the center of her asshole, and you go home tonight, you lick it, you get it on your tongue, and some other horrific shit happens that involves cancer. To all of you. 11 minutes left. 11 minutes. I hope somebody takes a fucking beer stein and just slaps you on the back of your zit-infested fucking shoulders and your awful man-tit tank tops. I hope that happens to you. I hope the glass fucking digs into your fucking shoulder blade. And when I see you afterwards, hey, how's it going? You enjoy the fucking show? That's great. And I grab you by the fucking hair, but you don't have any. You really have to come to this, people. You have to come to it. All of you run into all those black people that you love so much here in Camden. I really hope that happens. I hope there's a line of all of you guys get fucking carjacked and they take out their big black dicks and they just shove them right in your fucking mouths, each and every one of you. And somehow they just keep repeatedly coming right in your fucking eyeballs. Until it builds up so much that your eyes they fucking crust over. You can't see shit. And somehow there's another dick in there for you to suck. 10 minutes left.
What a legend.
This is what you want. This is what you want. Bunch of fucking losers. Fucking Rocky is your hero. The whole body of city is built around a fucking guy who doesn't even exist. Fucking Joe Frazier is from there, but he's black, so you can't fucking deal with him. So you make a fucking statue for some 3-foot fucking Italian who's stupid, Philly cheese eating fucking jackasses. I hope that cheese melts your fucking faces off. You collectively suck a fucking dick. A fucking booby.
Philly does have the best cheesesteaks in the country. That's real, though.
You with your fucking Donovan McNabb shirt. I hope he snaps both his fucking ankles.
Donovan McNabb is a great quarterback.
Fucking 16. I said suck a dick. 8 minutes left. 8 fucking minutes left.
I love it,
Flyers,
dude.
do they even fucking exist anymore? Bunch of goddamn pansies. Haven't won shit since fucking Gerald Ford was in office. Why don't you just have the fucking ice capades down there, you assholes? You probably wouldn't even notice the difference. That fucking pussy team. Remember they had that whole season where they wore the slacks? You bunch of faggots. What else? I attacked your mothers. It's 8 minutes. I'm doing it all. I'm fucking standing here. When I broke the mic stand, I got a little fucking king now. I'm gonna be the little observational comedian up here. What's that, sir? What do you have to say, sir? Never passed the fucking 8th grade. What brilliant shit are you gonna fucking tell me, huh? back to the dock and go unload some shit. You fucking warehouse working, weed smoking, fucking disappointment for your mother. 7 minutes left. 7 motherfucking minutes left. And I'll do it all fucking 7. You fucking assholes. Fucking standing backstage for 3 hours to get booed by this GED fucking stupid ass piece of shit fucking crowd. Bunch of fucking losers. I hope your fucking radio's fall on your head tomorrow. The fucking antenna goes right in your fucking ears. You fall out of one of those piece of shit buildings. Fuck all of you and fuck the Liberty Bell. And shove it up Ben Franklin's ass. What do you think about that? All of you motherfuckers. I hope that bridge collapses onto your pathetic lives. Go fuck yourselves. 6 minutes left, and I will be selling my CD after this shit, you motherfuckers. The only way you get one is if I throw it at your fucking stupid heads. You bunch of racist fucking morons. Look at this. What are you taking a picture of, E-Rock, huh? This is the most, I'm saying all the shit I wanted to say for 14 minutes. This right here is the theme of my set, a broken mic stand. 3 motherfucking minutes left. 3 fucking minutes left. What's left? The Phillies, that faggot-ass team named after a female horse, a bunch of pussies. One fucking World Series since 1880s. Suck a dick. Bring Tom McGraw back from the dead, you fucking jackasses. Maybe you'll win another one. It ain't ever happening. It ain't ever fucking happening with your red candy stripe faggot fucking uniforms. Your team should be selling cotton candy in the fucking instructional leagues. You have a soccer team? That's all I got left, huh? You got a fucking ping pong team? Some other shit-ass fucking team that's never gonna win a championship? You guys haven't won a Super Bowl since they had face masks, you fucking jackass. Roman Gabriel running around a fucking Linda helmet. Ah, suck a dick. Was he a dad or something? You don't know who the fuck he is. Ironed my fucking shirt for this shit. Went to the Banana Republic, picked a $20 shirt off the rack.
That's how you rant.
Absolutely fucking ridiculous. Getting booed by people sitting in the fucking grass. Goddamn launch seats. It's fun, isn't it? It's great. I'm actually getting fucking paid right now, people. I'm getting paid to shit all over you guys and your stupid fucking rock t-shirts of bands that no one gives a fuck about. 4 minutes left. You with your Rush fucking t-shirts. I beat the shit out of my girlfriend. That felt great. It really felt great. I want to thank you guys for having me. You guys were phenomenal. Each and every. Oh no, I got 4 minutes left. I got 4 fucking minutes left to fucking talk about you cunts. That's not bad. That's not bad. 12-minute rant. That was the first time I said cunt. That's a fucking record. I'm gonna finish my set by taking this mic stand base like a fucking disc. I hope I hit a baby in the fucking head. One fucking kid who would actually go to college in this fucking crowd. What's that, sir? Dave Chappelle, yes, he's not here. I wish I was on his fucking tour right now. Maybe I wouldn't have a bunch of cunts not fucking paying attention 4 hours into a goddamn show. 3 fucking minutes left. 3 minutes left.
Legendary.
Motherfucking tirade. What's that? Sir, why are you screaming? You're in the front row, you dumb fuck. God, I hope this whole crowd, I just hope mass AIDS full blown, like fucking you get weak as you walk to your fucking cars, you just pass out, and they just find you next to your 83 fucking Monte Carlo with gravel embedded into the side of your fucking bald ass fucking heads. Yes.
What about Vincent Papalio?
What about what?
Vincent Papalio.
What about not fucking interrupting me, you jackass? Play a fucking
That was
record,
Patrice's
son of a
idea,
bitch.
sorry.
I'm fucking trying to deal with this bullshit. Jesus Christ, the goddamn people on the show are giving me shit. So anyways, back to the jokes. I got a computer recently, people. Fucking motherfuckers. 2 minutes left. The last 2 minutes is gonna be my rider for the rest of this fucking tour. I go on first. I do 3 minutes. That's it. I come out here with a fucking gun, right? That's what I do. I come out with a fucking gun, hollow tip bullets, and I just start fucking shooting people, okay? When everybody's chained to their fucking chairs. I just blow all your fucking brains out, like just one after another. Just fucking walk it. 2 to the back of the head. Never ending. Coming out like a fucking Mexican with those 2 fucking crosses of bullets. I just blow all your fucking brains out. I would really enjoy blowing everybody's brains out. Just fucking, just the next day, somebody mopping up 3 pounds of fucking brains that are actually in this goddamn crowd. 1 minute left in the period. Listen. This doesn't change anything, this set. I still fucking hate you people. And I hate this fucking city. I hate the way you eat your little shitty ass fucking Subway. And what did you fucking build something for Joe Frazier and get that fucking idiot? You guys all gonna go see Rocky 19? Oh, dude, I think you can win. Listen, I'm out of time. You guys were here, man. Thank you very much. All of you go fuck yourselves in your own assholes. Good night. Thank you very much.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how you fucking rant from an absolute legend of ranting. I hope this episode of Ranting made you happy. We tried our best to bring the spirit, and it was accidental that we actually brought Bill Burr in, but I think that was an appropriate end to this episode. May all you fine people listening to this find peace in your life. Go get those Philly cheesesteaks and go fuck yourselves. Have a good night.